Welcome to the Money and Meaning Show with Jeff Bernier, a show dedicated to helping you gain the confidence and freedom to lead a life of personal significance and help you get your actions and resources in alignment with what matters most.
Well, hello, friends. Jeff Bernier here with another edition of the Money and Meaning Show Perspective broadcast. So glad to be with you today. You know, I've been thinking a little bit recently about binary choices. Binary choices. So let me set this up for you a little bit. And the first thing I'll say is that, investing can be quite simple. It's certainly not easy, but at its essence, it can be quite simple. Again, not easy, but simple. And I think, especially in uncertain and volatile times like we've experienced recently, it's really good to just go back to first principles and to keep things simple. So that's what I'm going to try to do here with you for just a few minutes. And as you try to deal with the day-to-day noise, again, I think just keeping things simple can help you. And I think about it in terms of some of these binary choices. And again, the hope is that you can keep things relatively simple and you can remain calm in these choppy waters. So I'll talk about three binary choices that I think we can decide. So choice number one, you either have faith in the future and are what I will call a rational optimist. So you're a rational optimist and have faith in the future, or you don't. You think the world is ending, or that this time truly is different, and that we'll never recover, and that whatever is going on now will continue, that the current trends are linear, and will be like Thelma and Louise in that movie, and just drive right off a cliff, that things will just keep going in one direction, and that they never change course. So binary choice number one is you can either have faith in the future or not. And the reason I call it being a rational optimist, I think if you study humans and you study our existence, you'll see great progress. If you study markets and economics, you'll see that we do adjust, we do self-correct, we make changes. And one really easy way to illustrate this is if you just go back and look at the U.S. stock market, look at the S&P 500 index as an example, and go back and look at what it was trading at the month you were born. So, for instance, the month I was born, the S&P 500 was at 66. You heard that right, 66. It was trading at 66 on the month I was born. And today, it's trading around 5,500, and that doesn't even include dividends. And of course, over this time, we've had a lot of challenges. I mean, over that period where the U.S. stock market went from 66 to 5,500, we've had presidential assassinations, we've had wars, we've had impeachments, we've had financial crisis, we've had bubbles, we've had crashes, we've had terrorist attacks, we've had pandemics. So we've been through a lot in this history where stocks went from 66 to 5,500 and more if you compounded the dividends. And, I'm reminded of Franklin Roosevelt's final inauguration speech in 1945. He was quoting his schoolmaster. In quoting his schoolmaster, he said, "Things in life will not always run smoothly. Sometimes we'll be rising towards the heights. Then all will seem to reverse itself and start downward. The great fact to remember is that civilization, the trend of civilization itself, is forever upward, that a line drawn through the middle of the peaks and the valleys of the centuries always has an upward trend." And I think, you have to be an optimist if you look and study history and look at all that we've overcome. So number one, faith in the future or no faith in the future. Number two, are you goal-focused and planning-driven, or are you market-focused and performance-driven? I believe that if you're goal-focused and planning-driven, you're likely to build strategies and investments that have a reasonable probability of funding your long-term financial plan and your goals. And if you're market-focused and performance-driven, primarily short-term performance, but performance-driven in general, you're likely to focus on what's happening now and not what happens over time. And you're likely to get either excited or depressed, depending upon what's going on at the time. And of course, if you look at the U.S. stock market on a daily basis, you're going to be unhappy about half the time because U.S. stock prices are negative about 50% of the time if you look at it every day. So if you look at the market every day, about 50% of the days are negative. If you look at it over a rolling 10-year period, you'll find that it's positive about 94% of the rolling 10-year periods. So are you going to be planning-driven and goal-focused, or are you going to be market-focused and performance-driven? And I would argue that what matters most is to be goal-focused and planning-driven because it encourages you to make a series of decisions that can improve your probabilities over time of funding your financial goals. And importantly, to live a better life because you're not sweating the day-to-day on things that you really have very little, if any, control over. So that's binary choice number 2, goal-focused and planning-driven or market-focused and performance-driven. Number 3, do you want to tilt your portfolio to capture economic growth by owning the world's great businesses, also known as stocks, or do you want the predominant portions of your portfolio to be in fixed income securities or bonds where you're either a lender to the bank or a bank to the government or to businesses? So the choice to overweight exposure to the world's great businesses or perhaps real estate or other equity investments where you're participating in economic growth, or do you want to lend money to these businesses or to the government at predetermined interest rates that are not as tied to economic growth? Now, don't get me wrong. When you invest or lend money by owning bonds, you do expect to get paid interest and you expect to get paid back, but you're not as tied to economic growth. So binary choice number 3 is, are you primarily going to be an owner or a loaner? And as we think about it, what's going on as we deal with the future is we can just kind of keep it simple here. And so where do we fit on these 3 binary choices? Do we have faith in the future or not? And that will have a huge impact on the decisions that we make. Are you goal-focused and planning-driven or market-focused and performance-driven? Again, where you fall on this will have huge impact on the decisions that you make. And then finally, do you want appropriate investment allocations of your portfolio to capturing long-term global economic growth by being a shareholder in the world's great businesses, or do you want to play defense and have less volatility? And so the appropriate allocation is really, as we've talked many times on this show, should be driven by your need, ability, and tolerance for risk. But how much you have exposed to economic growth versus less volatile through fixed income securities. And in my view, participating in this economic growth by owning an appropriate amount in the world's great businesses greatly improves the odds of providing a more secure retirement income in real inflation-adjusted dollars. And that's really what's important in retirement. It's not that we get retirement income, it's that we get a rising retirement income to meet rising expenses. So the binary choice of how much is in stocks and how much is in bonds will have a huge impact on this. So again, let's just keep it simple. So 3 binary choices that you can make to see through all the noise and all the clutter. So there you have it, folks, a few thoughts that I hope you'll find helpful. If you'd like to have a deeper discussion or go deeper on any of this, we'd love to hear from you. You can reach me by email at moneyandmeaning@tandemgrowth.com. I'd love to hear from you. You can check out our corporate website at tandemgrowth.com. And of course, you can check out past episodes of the Money and Meaning show, both the short perspective versions as well as the longer interview formats, wherever you stream your favorite podcast and videos. And again, if you check them out, we'd love to get some feedback. Please rate them if you like them or not. Again, all feedback is good feedback because we can improve. And certainly share them if you think they could be helpful to your friends or colleagues. So hope you found this helpful. Thanks for your time today and have a great rest of your day. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Money and Meaning Show with Jeff Bernier, a show dedicated to help you gain the confidence and freedom to lead a life of personal significance and help you get your actions and resources in alignment with what matters most. We would love to hear from you. If you have any questions or comments on the show, feel free to reach out to us at moneyandmeaning@tandemgrowth.com, or you can find us on the web at www.tandemgrowth.com. Jeff Bernier is the President and Chief Investment Officer at Tandem Growth Financial Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. This show is a production of Tandem Growth Financial Advisors, LLC. All information discussed is general in nature, is provided for informational purposes only, and should not be construed as specific financial, legal, or tax advice. Listeners should consult an attorney or tax professional regarding their specific legal or tax situation. Listeners should not rely on the content of this podcast as the basis for any investment decisions. A professional advisor should be consulted and/or independent due diligence should be conducted before implementing anything discussed in this show. While information presented is believed to be factual and up-to-date, Tandem Growth Financial Advisors, LLC, does not guarantee its accuracy, and it should not be regarded as a complete analysis of the subjects discussed. Tandem Growth Financial Advisors, LLC, does not make any representations or warranties as to the accuracy, timeliness, suitability, completeness, or relevance of any information prepared by any unaffiliated third party, such as guests on the podcast, and takes no responsibility for the same.